morning and welcome to Zion Dew. My name is Francis Wamonje and I'll be giving you today's message. This morning we continue with the remarkable life of Joseph. And in this final installment, I want to talk about aligning ourselves to the times and seasons along with our gifts. We've been learning about Joseph in the previous episodes, his remarkable life, how he forgave his brothers, how his giftings grew from being a very basic gift to an advanced state whereby it could open doors for him. And we now reconnect with him when his family has since come into Egypt and they're just getting settled in. And here you find a very remarkable attribute of Joseph in terms of helping his brothers to align themselves to a new space. And I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 46, verses 31 to 34, and then from chapter 47. The Bible says, Joseph then spoke to his brothers and his father's family, "I'll go and tell Pharaoh, my brothers and father's family, all of whom lived in Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds. They have always made their living by raising livestock, and they have brought their flocks and herds with them, along with everything else that they own. When Pharaoh calls you and asks what kind of work you do, tell him, your servants have always kept livestock for as long as we can remember. We and our parents also. That way, he let you stay apart in the area of Goshen, for the Egyptians look down upon anyone who is a shepherd." So that is Joseph's advice to his brothers. He tells them, look, this is your career line, and this is what you do best. And what's more, there's a land within Egypt which is very well aligned to your giftings and your talents and your profession. And he tells them what to tell Pharaoh, and he says, I'll go before you, but when you come, you must stick to this script. And in verse 47, we then catch up with Joseph and 5 of his brothers before Pharaoh. And he says, Joseph went to Pharaoh and told him, my father and brothers with their flocks and herds and everything they own have come from Canaan. Right now, they are in Goshen. He had taken 5 of his brothers with him and introduced them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked them, what kind of work do you do? Your servants are shepherds, same as our fathers here. We have come to this country to find a new place to live. There is no pasture for our flocks in Canaan. The famine has been very bad there. Please, would you let your servants settle in the region of Goshen? Pharaoh looked at Joseph. So your father and brothers have arrived, a reunion. Egypt welcomes them. Settle your father and brothers on the choicest land. Yes, give them Goshen. And if you know any of them that are especially good at their work, put them in charge of my own livestock. I'm reading from the Message translation. Here you can see the wisdom of Joseph at play in aligning his family for success. And that way he aligns the nation of Israel for success. What does he tell them? He tells them, based on what you do and what you really have a unique niche in, the best land is in Goshen. Hey, and what's more, these people called the Egyptians do not like shepherds. So you're going to do your work unimpeded. And then he then asks them to put it as a main ask before Pharaoh. And they go there and they ask for this specific land. And I can imagine at this point, Pharaoh, what does he want to do with shepherds anyway? I mean, he's happy for Joseph, but the very culture and traditions of Egypt, shepherds and Egyptians, they don't mix. Even when Joseph was eating with his brothers, he sat separately because according to the customs of the Egyptians, they don't mix. And so Joseph did not ask the brothers to go and say, we sort of do a bit of farming here, or there are things you can do. He tells them to stick to the thing which is most profitable to them, and he aligns them perfectly. So I think this is a very powerful lesson to conclude these teachings about Joseph. When you go into a room as an individual and as a nation, What is your main ask? Is it aligned to your giftings? Is it aligned to your abilities? There have been many people who have been giving advice saying, fake it till you make it. And I tell you, you fake it, you will not make it. Instead, if you align your giftings and your talents to the opportunities that are before you, you will prosper, and you'll prosper well. Thank you, and this concludes the teachings about Joseph.